It's a chicken dinner in Columbia. Welcome into the Tiger Kickoff Show. I'm Jacob Siciliano. The Tigers win over the Gamecocks 29-20. We're joined by our wonderful beat reporters in Courtney Corpule, Zach Sweet, and Chase James as we get ready to break down the Tigers' victory. Guys, y'all were at the game. What were our initial reactions as soon as we think back to South Carolina?
A lot of the aspects that have defined both teams early on in the season showed up on Saturday. Mizzou dominated the line of scrimmage. They ran the ball effectively. They stopped the run effectively. They gave up explosive plays on defense, and they won a close game. And so if you're Mizzou, you're now 4-0 with UMass and a bye coming up before you host Alabama. I think the Tigers should feel pretty good with where they're at right now.
The best backfield in college football belongs to Missouri. The Missouri Tigers have the best running back in college football. I'm ready to say it. Ahmad Hardy is capable of winning the Doak Walker Award this year, and he showed it again. But it wasn't just Hardy. It was the efforts of Jamal Roberts and Beau Pribula, too, getting the job done with his legs. Missouri's run game was dominant. South Carolina knew in the fourth quarter that they were going to have to play defense that defend against the run, and they couldn't. They couldn't do it because Missouri's offensive line just kept on moving. They just kept on moving the sticks, and it's really impressive.
Now, everything was perfect. Obviously, we're going to talk about the secondary and some of the breakdowns there. Drigwitz had plenty to say on that. But you look at the front seven, that unit put a lot of pressure on Sellers and only prevented the South Carolina offense to 20 points. So you look at that part of the defense, it's great. There's just some work to be done on the other side.
Missouri moved up to 20 in the AP poll. Is that right for the Tigers, or should they be higher?
I think there are some teams you could look at ahead of Mizzou and say Mizzou deserves to be higher than them. I look at Michigan at 19. They're 3-1. Their only loss was their only really competitive game of the season against Oklahoma in terms of a really good power conference team. So I think Mizzou maybe deserve that.
I'm going to hold strong and say that it's right. I mean, they're in a good spot. They're in a spot where they're approaching that college football playoff talk at the top 12 teams in the country, and I think if they just keep on winning the games in front of them, if they just keep delivering wins, Alabama, I'm not going to overlook UMass, but you're going to look a couple weeks in advance, and you're going to look at that Alabama game, and that's going to be another real test for Missouri. If they just keep on winning these games, they're going to end up approaching pretty quickly.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they're right around where they should be. I think if South Carolina had been ranked, that would have looked a little different. Maybe they move up closer to 15, but as it stands, I think they're in the right spot. And, you know, if they do beat Bama, then you're really going to see them rise up the ranks.
All right, well, let's take a look back at that South Carolina game where the Tigers got their victory. 14 straight matchups between these two teams. Marquise Johnson, he's trying to win that Mayor's Cup back. First quarter, Sellers on the move, but Nick Rodriguez, the flying squirrel, gets in there for the sack.
What I've loved about this linebacker room is that they not only move downhill super well, but they move sideline to sideline exceptionally. Rodriguez has had an awesome season so far.
That ended up leading to a South Carolina punt. Rodriguez, yeah, he has been a fantastic piece on the Tigers front seven that looked impressive in the win. The following drive, Pribula to Northfleet. Look at this toe tap from the big man. Are you kidding me, Brett?
I mean, what an impressive catch by Northfleet. What great body control and an amazing throw by Beau Pribula to put it in a place where only his receiver could go up and get the ball. Defensive back had no chance at that. That was an amazing ball placement.
Pickup of 25 yards on the play. 3 plays later, touchdown. Beau finds Joshua Manning. It's just his second career touchdown as a Tiger.
Yeah, his first touchdown of the season. It's good to see him get involved more with the offense here. A nice find by Pribula over the defense, finds him in the end zone there, and the Tigers get the offense started here.
It's a 9-play, 99-yard touchdown drive, and the Tigers will go on to lead 6-0 after a missed PAT attempt from the freshman kicker, Robbie Meyer. Tigers defense, they're playing fast. There's the Axeman, Hosea Trotter, in for the TFL. Missouri defense looking sharp.
Trotter was in the backfield along with a lot of the Missouri front seven all night long. 8 tackles for loss and 5 sacks. Trotter is now up to 6 on the season, which leads Mizzou.
But this is the power of Lenora Sellers that we'll see here in just a minute. This guy can simply move. 2 plays later, finds Vandarius Jacobs for a 49-yard touchdown pass on 3rd and 14. Gamecocks take the lead, 7-6.
Yeah, Jacobs with an unbelievable game, over 100 receiving yards. But I mean, you get your defensive line jumping, and it's a free play downfield against Missouri's secondary that we just talked about how it was beat up all game. And, I mean, Sellers just puts that ball in a place where only his receiver can make a play.
But remember, Marquise Johnson, he wants that cup. The one-handed snag, it's a gain of 18 to keep the drive moving.
I'm not sure how that catch even happened. I mean, he just snags that right out of the air. He's showing why he's one of the top receivers on this team. I think he was the top target of the game from Pribula. So he's having a great season so far.
Tigers will lead 9-6 after a field goal. 3 and out. They get the football back, but Beau is picked off.
Not a good decision there by Beau Pribula. Has to see Gerald Kilgore underneath, snuck up on him for Beau Pribula's second interception of the season.
They take advantage. Sellers an easy 24-yard touchdown pass to Brian Rowe. Gamecocks up 14-9.
Yeah, Rowe simply beats the linebacker at the second level, and Sellers just another nice throw. He did it all game. He threw for over 300 yards, and the secondary, again, just beat up.
Yeah, Sellers one of those quarterbacks that makes it look easy. Beau responds, finds who else but Marquise Johnson, 17 yards. He's having a day.
Again, consistent. Marquise Johnson gets another great catch here. Just a wonderful day from him, and he's keeping it up.
Leads to another Meyer field goal. Tigers will trail at halftime for the first time this season, 14-12. We go into the third. Sellers on the air raid again. Complete to Jacobs down to the 2-yard line.
These explosive plays are what kept South Carolina in the game offensively. Sellers averaged 16.8 yards per completion. That is way too many if you're Mizzou.
Tigers are able to hold South Carolina to a field goal. Ahmad Hardy. That's it. That's all I need to say. Just watch this. 38 yards and several missing bodies. Hardy, a total of 138 rushing on the day.
I'll go back to this. This kid is special. Ahmad Hardy is the best running back in college football. He leads college football, 37 missed tackles. He had 9 more in Saturday's game. And, I mean, this is just so impressive. Impressive running, stiff arm, get off of me. Hardy's just going to keep on plowing forward. Just when you think you have him, every single time he just keeps those legs churning. He keeps those yards coming, and he's special, man.
All but 20 of those 138 were yards after contact. He sets him up something to 5, and this guy's just playing games. Rides the defense in the pile, finds the end zone for 6. Missouri leads 18-17.
I mean, yeah, he's leading the SEC in rushing yards, and I mean, I agree with you. He's definitely asserting himself as the best college football running back right now.
Tigers defense tries to claw out the game. 3rd and 37. Sellers connects on a 33-yard shot.
This can't happen at any level of football. You cannot allow 33 yards on a 3rd and 37. That set up a scoring opportunity for South Carolina.
That leads to a South Carolina field goal to take the lead. We head to the 4th quarter. This quarter belongs to the Tigers. Jamal Roberts to the house, 26-20.
I mean, it's a 1-2 punch. You get worn out by Hardy, and Roberts comes in with fresh legs, and he just dominates too. I think he's 6th in rushing among SEC leaders. Really impressive stuff from Jamal Roberts on that one to get to the outside and get in that zone.
And then later in the 4th, freshman Robbie Meyer, a career-long 40-yard field goal to seal the game. Marquise gets his cup. The Tigers will win it 29-20. We talked about some of the defensive woes. There's Marquise. Here's Drinkwitz on how his defense performed.
Well, I will say I'm really proud of the way they played defense in the second half, especially after the deep ball, to get the sack right there, push them out of field goal range, or not push them out of field goal range, but push them back. I mean, when we watch the tape tomorrow, I'm going to be on some secondary coaches' rear ends because this is getting ridiculous how porous our pass defense is, and that's got to get shored up in a hurry. And whatever we got to do to fix it, we're going to have to do. But there's way too many holes in our zone cover. We got bad eyes in the backfield. I'm not going to get negative. I'm not getting negative. But, yeah, that crap's got to get corrected. I mean, we gave up 290 total offense, 93 yards, and 300 of it was passing. 302 passing yards. It's ridiculous.
Well, you heard it from Drink. There's no road trips against the Tigers, but if you want to fly, it's free. They allowed 302 passing yards. Compare that to just -9 rushing yards. Guys, what'd you see?
As I said a moment ago, those explosive passing plays are what kept South Carolina in the game offensively. They could not run the ball at all, had -9 rushing yards on the game. No running back on South Carolina had a rush of longer than 7 yards, but it was those 33-yard, 24-yard, 40-plus yard completions that kept them mildly ahead of the sticks. They'd get behind on early downs, and then Mizzou's efforts would be nullified on a lot of those 3rd downs because of explosive passing plays. So that's something that needs to be fixed, because if it doesn't, it is going to cost Mizzou a game at some point this year.
I mean, I talked about it weeks ago before the Kansas game, and I actually got grilled for talking about it, but I talked about the secondary being an issue for this team, and it remains true through 4 games. The secondary has been the prime issue for this team. What I underestimated was how dominant Missouri's defensive front is. They get pressure almost every play, and it's really impressive, whether it's Zion Young, Damon Wilson, Josiah Trotter, Khalil Jacobs. They're in the backfield every single time they're on the field, and it's super, super fun to watch. Those defensive ends getting to the pass rusher as effectively as they do, it's special.
Yeah, the defense is kind of almost like a trade-off right now between the front 7 and the secondary. You want that to come together finally, and you look during that game, like Sellers is a quarterback that is going to make plays, but there's just too many times where like a defender like Toriano Pride gets behind his man and gets beat, and everything, all the work that they did just goes away. So I understand why Drinkwitz is so frustrated, and it's something that they're definitely going to try to clean up.
Yeah, and Drinkwitz says that he wants to clean it up. He says it's something they need to fix, and fix it fast. But can they fix it fast in the middle of the season with the same personnel?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think like you have this UMass game where it's not really going to matter probably as much, but against Bama, that has to be shored up in some way. I'm not sure like what the next step is to get it there, but it's the biggest concern of this team, I would say. But a good amount.
I mean, whether they can or can't, they need to. They cannot keep winning games with the secondary giving up 300+ passing yards every single time they're on the field. It just can't happen.
Part of me is like some of their issues rely in miscommunications, like the Brian Rowe touchdown where Jalen Catalon and Drayden Norwood just had a miscommunication. That I think can get fixed over the course of maybe a week. Toriano Pride Jr. just got beat. Not a whole lot you can do about that, and that can't happen when Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard are coming to town in a couple weeks, getting beaten one-on-one coverage. That will cost Mizzou.
Well, I'll tell you what, when the ball is on the ground, this defense loves to hit. So we're going to do some hitting here at the Tiger Kickoff Show. We're going to hit you with our best shots. Well, those are some great pictures from our guy, John Gronsky. But after the Tigers had scored and then got on a 3-and-out, there was one pick that quarterback Beau Pribula wished he could have gotten back.
Yeah, I mean, that play happened, and there's nothing you can do about it after it happens. You know, you can learn from it, correct it, moving forward, and, you know, that's important. But after that, you know, I don't think, you know, I let it affect me because you can't. So just learning from your mistakes. It could be anything, not just interception. You got to learn from what you got and get better.
So his first 2 weeks, Beau's name was in the Heisman running, and now in his last 2 weeks as Missouri's quarterback, we've seen him throw an interception in each game. So what we're going to do is we're going to check in with Beau in our Believo-meter. So starting with you, Quinn, where are you believing in Beau Pribula?
I think I'm right in the middle. I don't think he's a Heisman contender. I also don't think he has played terrible so far. I think if you asked every fan base, would you like your quarterback through 4 games to complete 72.4% of their passes, just under 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns with only 2 interceptions, while also presenting a dual threat ability? So many people would sign up for that. And yes, Pribula has made a couple of very obvious mistakes, mistakes that he would probably like back. But I think for the most part, he's been really good. And even when he wasn't throwing the ball well on Saturday against South Carolina, he made up for it by picking up a few crucial first downs with his legs. I think he had 72 yards rushing. So I like to look at whenever your best stuff isn't going, how else can you make yourself valuable? Pribula did so with his legs on Saturday, and I think he's been doing just fine so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a very, very solid assessment of Beau's play thus far. I'd probably put him slightly above mediocre, slightly above the middle. Yeah,
there goes Beau.
That's a touch too high. But regardless, Beau's done a really good job through 4 weeks of taking what the defense has given him, with the exception of those 2 mistakes he's made on interceptions to this point. He's doing a really good job as well with his legs getting outside the pocket and creating plays. And I think if he just continues to take what the defense gives him, there's not a whole lot to say negative about him. I mean, I think going on what you talked about how what fan bases would sign up for in the offseason, I think everyone would sign up for 4-0 and your quarterback leading the charge. So I think he's right there. I think that's a pretty solid spot to put him.
Yeah, and actually put him more into the orange, to be honest. Like, I know he's made a couple of these mistakes, but I still think overall, you look at the past quarterbacks, like his arm is still really strong. His decision making needs to be better, but he's such a dynamic quarterback, and he's leading this offense really well so far. That you just see the success. So yeah, I think so far you can't really have too many issues with how he's played.
I like to see this meter move, so I'm gonna go. I'm a Beau-liever. I believe in Beau. And part of it is because I feel like the guy has ice in his veins. I don't know if I'm Heisman yet. I don't know if I'm Heisman yet, Travis. Our guy Travis is controlling the Beau-meter back there. I got him a little bit lower than that. But here's the thing. Beau against Kansas, in the return of the rivalry, 14 years, like he played extremely well. Had ice in his veins, came through. He'll need that from SEC play. He's a guy that delivers when he needs to. There's a guy we all believe in, though. And that is Ahmad Hardy. Yeah, it's Hardy's world. We've talked about it before. 600 rushing yards, first in the SEC, 458 of those coming after contact. This guy is out of this world.
Bonkers, man. And he's also not taking like over 95% of the carries because Jamal Roberts is a top 10 running back in production as well. And so he's been really efficient, and he's had high volume as well.
He's a guy that's putting his name into the Heisman race, even getting the 07 Heisman winner Tim Tebow talking about him. Hardy got to hear about that experience after the game.
I didn't even know that. I know who Tim Tebow is, but thanks.
Okay, so Ahmad Hardy, is he a Heisman contender, and is he the best running back in college football?
I think those are two vastly different questions. I think, is he a Heisman contender? Not yet. He's approaching fast. Best running back in college football. That he is. Hardy is awesome. 600 rushing yards. But what I want to talk about, we've talked about his rushing abilities. He made a really, really nice chip block in the red zone on, I believe it was a third down. And I know Beau had to throw the ball away. But the growth in his pass blocking is, and I think that's something he's learned from Jamal Roberts, who is a really good pass blocker we've learned over the past 2 seasons. And Hardy's growth in that area specifically is something that fascinates me, and I think that says a lot about who he is as a player, that he's willing to learn in a facet of his game that wasn't the strongest coming into the year, and his pass blocking has looked great. It wasn't just one play, but that chip block was awesome. I think, I forget who the pass rusher was coming off the edge, but he leveled him. It was an awesome block.
Yeah, I would say he's the best college football running back. I don't think he's a Heisman candidate yet, but just his contact balance is unreal. Like the ability to just stay on his feet. I think, was it 118 yards that were after contact out of the 138 he had? Like, he's just such an impressive talent. And when you're already getting comparisons to like Tyler Beatty and Cody Schrader with this program, 4 games into your career here, that's really impressive. He's only a sophomore and already one of the best.
So it's easy to say Ahmad Hardy solidifies himself as the obvious number 1 in the Tigers' backfield.
In the Tiger backfield, absolutely. Yes, that's been the case all of fall camp. Honestly, since he got here, I think a lot of us expected him to take the lion's share of the carries. But I think it's nice to have Jamal Roberts taking off some of that workload so Hardy stays fresh.
Yeah, that's what was unexpected to me. Not that Hardy was the one. I feel like that was undoubted coming into the year, like Quinn said. But Jamal Roberts' workload has definitely been greater than I expected it to be. I think the snap share is about 60-40 roughly percentage-wise. And that just is a testament to Missouri's rushing ability as a whole, that on the ground, behind that offensive line, they're able to just plow forward at whenever they want, at their own will, it seems.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how far into the season Roberts still shares this workload. I don't think you could totally get rid of him because he has performed very well, and him and Hardy make a nice 2 pairing. But I do think as the season goes on, you're going to see Hardy kind of take more of that number 1 role and maybe get more of the snaps.
Well, let's take a quick look at the AP poll as Ahmad Hardy and the Tigers keep on rising. Missouri just keeps marching forward in that AP poll. Again, you just got to get to 12 at the end of the season. We're going to send you overseas now to our guy Tyson Ellison, Missouri linebacker, Cotton Bowl winning champion, as he breaks down the game from South Carolina in Sideline Study Hall.
You're going to want to stay dry. Take this. You're headed to Batoon Bay, the all-inclusive resort where Mizzou just took South Carolina last weekend, and it looks sweet to play against the University of Missouri until you realize on Batoon Bay, there's not a whole lot of space to move. Those front 7 C's keep you locked in. Mizzou became a master at stopping the mobile quarterbacks. Let's find out exactly how. Starting with Sellers, you know he wants to test the water. He drops way back, but he doesn't remember his running back is on vacation. He did not come here to deal with these sharks, so he drops to the ground. Cut block completely misses. Now you've got Zion Young with a full speed ahead, aimed at your quarterback. That's a bad deal. And this is best case scenario, that they just take a seat together on the beach. Next example, Sellers now feels the pressure, wants to escape the pocket. He sees this defensive end. Once the defensive end crashes down, he assumes, okay, all the defenders must be inside of that box. He'd be right, except Nick Rodriguez is playing the spy. His one job is to watch the eyes of the quarterback. If he gets out of the pocket, Nick is there to make the tackle. Exactly like a lifesaver or a buoy. When Sellers escapes into those deep waters, Nick Rodriguez wraps him up, takes him safely to the sideline, makes sure he stays afloat. Here's another example. Sellers now has 2 lanes to run, but he's looking in the face of Josiah Trotter, who's now playing the spy. Watch. When Sellers turns his shoulders, Trotter follows him. Zion Young now with the quarterback hit, and Nick Rodriguez so close to an interception. Nick, I did not snap for all those passes in drop school for you to drop this interception here. But that's okay. Still a great pass breakup, and you'll catch the next one. I believe in you. Here we go. Darius Smith, now the defensive end. Chris McClellan, the defensive tackle. This is called a stunt. These 2 players are going to switch responsibilities, confuse the eyes of the quarterback. It plays out very simply in front of you. You see, they'll literally just switch spots. Now Chris McClellan is on the outside shoulder. Darius Smith playing on the inside. Sellers runs out of the pocket. This is the end of the half, so he has to get off a big throw, but he does not have time. Khalil Jacobs with the sack. I think this is a freestyle stroke. He's enjoying the beach as well. This is the only problem with Batoon Bay. Air travel is a possibility. The ocean's not going to stop it. You'll see now at the left side of the screen here, Sellers play action pass. You've got 2 different routes up here. One stops short, pulls down to safety. The corner is looking in the backfield. Nobody's accounting for this receiver, which allows this plane to fly perfectly on schedule. That deep ball is exactly how you draw it up. Touchdown, South Carolina. But the other team has a storm that nobody can stop. I introduce you to Hurricane Hardy. This is what Hurricane Hardy does to the bodies of the defense. And we saw last week against Vanderbilt that this sideline gets frustrated quick. As soon as they're down, South Carolina fell apart. That's why they're unranked. So this is early in the game. You see this false start here on the punt. It's 4th down already. And the guy who commits the false start, frustrated with his team. You saw the cracks showing up in the armor early. Now watch this hit by Ahmad Hardy on Swain. I think that would make anybody upset. But next play, Swain is arguing with his coaches on the sideline. Hey, we need somebody. Pull somebody over. He's trying to get off the field. Can't do it. Next play's already starting. No substitutions. This is palms up attitude. You do not coach that defensively. That's bad body language and a sign that you are being got to by the other team. Now Beau Pribula is going to escape this pocket. Fred Johnson is the middle of the field player. Pribula sees him leave, and he's going to scramble for 11 yards. That's a back-breaking play. You've got everybody covered except the quarterback. So defense going to tap the helmet. That means, coach, get me off the field. Now this Mizzou team is sitting happily on AP Island at number 20. We'll see how they can beat UMass in the next episode of Sideline Study Hall.
Thanks so much, Tyson. I think, honestly, I'm starting to feel like Coach Beamer here because I'm getting frustrated. None of us can get picks right except Zach this week in our newest edition of Take It to the Grave. The wheel of misery returns. It's in the hands of the guy who said, I'm taking the safe play here. What happened?
Well, I took Damon Wilson to record at least 1 sack. He was in the backfield quite a bit, but could only split a sack with Chris McClellan, and I don't think we round up here on the Tiger Kickoff Show.
We do not.
So I'm going to go ahead and spin this wheel.
Glass half empty.
I swear, if it's a safe,
I will.
All right.
Okay.
Eat your words.
Eat your
Yes,
words.
eat your words.
That's good. That's good. That's a good one.
I didn't expect to avoid a punishment for,
Oh, look at
for a
you.
third straight week.
Okay, no more doubles for me. I got the 1.5 passing touchdowns over right, but not the passing yards, so I will spin again. Please don't give me peppers.
That's a really good little Uzi song. T-shirt
T-shirt toss. I don't even remember what that entails, but
I'm not even sure if I know what that means. We'll be in
That's a
store for
problem.
Thursday.
Okay.
What is Tyson schemed? All right, let's do this. Please be blue. I don't need to do this again.
it's blue but the wrong one. Hot take.
Oh no.
sorry, man.
It's okay. I got.
not fun.
Oh Lord. I'm a very cold take person, but we're about to get spicy, I guess. All right, that's it for Take It to the Grave. Let's talk about something that some people might have some hot takes on. It's permanent opponents. They were leaked today. The Tigers have their permanent opponents set in Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Texas A&M. There's how drink stacks up and the overall scores for these teams. Obviously, OU, A&M, both with the Tigers in previous conferences.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see Texas A&M be one of the teams. Oklahoma and Arkansas made the most sense. I know Mike Elko already had some things to say about Missouri being his opponent, but I think it does make a little bit of sense, and we've seen the series kind of get, like last year it was a big blowout. They're coming back here this year looking for redemption, so I think there are some storylines there, but it definitely was the weirdest one out of the bunch.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was interesting A&M was on there. They've only played them twice in the last 10 years, and they've played South Carolina 14 consecutive.
Every year since they've joined
14
the SEC.
consecutive years, and to kind of not crush, but because it'll be every other year they'll play South Carolina in the Mayor's Cup, but to not renew that rivalry after the competitiveness we've seen in the last couple of years kind of surprised me. But Arkansas and Oklahoma definitely made a lot of sense.
Yeah, Texas A&M and Mizzou, they were in the same conference from 1996 to 2011, which is sort of a lengthy period of time, but not a whole lot. I was also expecting South Carolina to be that third annual opponent, but I think rekindling that Big 12 fire is something that's going to be interesting to watch, especially because I think Mizzou and Texas A&M are both in pretty good spots right now and probably for the foreseeable future as well.
I was a little surprised to see Texas A&M in there as well. The Mayor's Cup has been a thing, and people have cared about it too. You could obviously see Drinkwitz loves his trophy games. We've talked about Drink in the trophy games before. But in 14 years, there's a precedent there. English common law. You're going upon the past, right? Been building on it, and it's kind of weird. Obviously, Kyle Field is an amazing atmosphere, so that'll be something fantastic for fans to go to and try to bring a little black and gold there. But for our friends in Black and Gold, we want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode of the Tiger Kickoff Show. I want to thank, again, our wonderful Columbia, Missouri beat reporters in Quentin Corpriel, Zach Sweet, and Chase James. You can find us here at the Tiger Kickoff Show on Mondays and Thursdays. In the meantime, check us out on our socials, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and anywhere else you see us. It's great. Thank you for watching the Tiger Kickoff Show.